You've heard it 1,000 times. Too much protein turns into fat. But what if they're just wrong? What if there's zero human study evidence that says too much protein, especially while lifting weights, causes fat gain? In fact, the science says the opposite. When people overeat protein and resistance train, they often lose fat and gain muscle. So, in today's video, we're breaking down what happens when you eat a lot of protein. How much is too much? And if 30 grams of protein is the absorption limit, is it a myth? And why protein still supports fat loss even with insulin spikes? Let's dive in. So, can overeating protein make you fat? Let's start with a big claim from fat loss scientist Dr. Bill Campbell. He says, and I quote, "I've never read a study where subjects increased calories from protein alone and resistance trained and gained body fat." And this is from an expert. First study, Joey and Antonio, 2014 and 2015, they trained men and women who ate up to 4.4 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, with calorie surpluses of 500 to 700 calories per day. The result? No fat gain. Some actually lost fat. In the second study, two female groups, group 1 eating 1.2 grams per kilogram and other double that, all resistance trained and was supervised. The results? The high protein group gained more lean mass and lost fat relative to group 1, the baseline. Even older women aged 50 to 80 who increased their protein from 0.9 to 1.3 grams per kilogram of body weight without exercising still gained lean mass and lost fat. So not only is protein hard to convert to fat, it's actually one of the best fat loss tools we've got. So, how much is too much? Is there a limit? Can you eat too much protein? Well, this study, 2023, Zhang et al., compared 25 grams to 100 grams of milk protein post-workout. The 25-gram group absorbed 18% and the 100-gram 13%, but with a lower efficiency. So yes, there's a diminishing return on absorption, but here's the kicker. Muscle protein synthesis was still 20% higher in the 100-gram group compared to the 25-gram protein group. What does that mean? More protein isn't wasted, it's just used less efficiently. So, let's talk about protein timing, fasting, and meal frequency. What if you're intermittent fasting? Can you hit your protein goals with only 1 or 2 meals? So that same study that used milk protein, which is a combo of whey and casein, fast and slow digesting. The results from the study showed amino acids were slowly released over 12 hours. This crushed the old myth that your body can only absorb 30 grams of protein per meal. You can absolutely hit 120 to 150 grams of protein a day, even with 1 meal a day or 2 meals a day, as long as the quality is high. Now, for those doing time-restricted eating, this is a game changer, don't you think? So, if you need help in figuring all this out, I offer a free nutrition report that will offer insights into what is holding you back from your fat loss goals. Click the free nutrition report link in the description. But what about insulin? Now, the insulin question. If protein spikes insulin, doesn't that stop fat loss? Yes, whey protein is insulinogenic, but it spikes glycogen and the hormone that keeps blood sugar from crashing. So here's what studies show. Whey causes an insulin spike, prevents muscle breakdown, glycogen stabilizes blood sugar. So the protein doesn't behave like carbs, it's net neutral. And it actually supports fat loss and muscle building. Now, the outcome of the studies are clear. Adding protein equals better body composition, regardless of insulin. What about protein? What does it actually do for your body? So, summary of what happens is when you eat high protein, it's hard to store as fat. And this supports lean muscle, it blunts appetite, it increases thermic effect, in other words, you burn more calories digesting it. It preserves muscle during fat loss. Plus, high protein diets have shown to be superior for people on fat loss plans, especially paired with lifting weights. So in sedentary individuals, seating a lot, increased protein from 0.9 to 1.6 resulted in fat loss without exercise. So if you're already eating 2.2 kgs or grams per kg, going up to 3 won't necessarily burn more fat, just focus on being consistent. So, final verdict, should you overeat on protein? Well, let's discuss that. If someone lifts weights, eats in a moderate surplus and increases protein, they are likely to gain muscle and possibly lose body fat. And avoid storing excess protein as fat. There's no evidence in actual human trials that protein overeating leads to fat gain in resistance-trained individuals. Instead about worrying about grams turning into fat, worry about missing your daily protein target. Need a quick tip? If hunger is killing your diet, overeat on protein, not chips. If this video busted a few nutritional myths for you, smash that like button. It really helps this channel grow. Also, if you can, drop a comment, and if you want to dive deep into the protein types for fat loss or a full protein or breakdown of animal versus plant proteins, let me know. And remember, more protein equals more strength equals more results. You got this.